Hello guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So in today's video I'll be showing you guys how to draft this beautiful blouse. If you want to see how I went about it, kindly stay tuned to the end of this video. So guys, first things first, I've gone ahead to lay out my pattern paper and we're going to be placing out our measurements. So for my shoulder is 7.5, 15 divided by 2, 7.5. I'll add half inch and I'll mark that at 8 inches. Next thing we're going to be doing is to take out the vertical measurements. So for my shoulder, I'm going to mark my chest line at 8 inches. I'm going to mark it right there at 8 inches. For my chest line, I'm going to mark out my bust point at 10 inches. I'm going to mark out my under bust at 13 inches. And then I'll mark out my half length at 15. And then the length of my blouse at 22 inches. I added allowance to that. So guys, mark yours at 22 inches. And then we're going to go ahead and rule out the horizontal lines. So guys, I brought down the 8 inches at the shoulder down, and then I ruled out the lines. So guys, next thing I'm going to be doing is to mark out the armhole depth line. So I'm just going to connect the 8 inches I marked to the one at the shoulder. So guys, this line is not necessary, but I just did it so I can explain something to you guys. I'm going to label the chest line, the bust point, my under bust line, and half length, and then finally I'm going to label the length. Okay, so guys, next thing we're going to be doing from here is to mark out the neck. Okay, so for my neck width is 3.5 inches, and then from there I'm going to take the shoulder slant. So for the shoulder slant, naturally we're supposed to take it from the armhole line, but this is a cut together. This blouse has a cut together sleeves. Okay, so I'm going to measure what I have remaining, which is about 8.5 inches, and then I'm going to take my shoulder slants from the edge of the paper, just as you see me doing. So come down by 1 inch at the edge of the paper, and then I'm just going to slant that into the neck. Naturally we're supposed to take it from the armhole line, but this is a cut together sleeve blouse and sleeves, so we're going to take it from the end of the paper. Okay, so just do as you see me do. So guys, this is what you ought to have. Next thing we're going to be doing is to take the depth of the neck. Okay, so I want mine to be high, so I made it 7 inches and I came up by 1 inch from the chest line, and I'm just going to make a V neck to what I have at the shoulder. Okay, so connect both sides of your neck together, just as you see me doing. Okay, so guys, this is what you ought to have. Next thing we're going to be doing is we're going to be placing our measurements. Okay, so first things first, I'm marking out the dart. I'm going to come in by my nipple to nipple measurements plus half inch, which gave me 4, and I'm just going to mark that from the bust point all the way to the end of the blouse. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and rule that together with a straight line. I'm going to connect all the points together, and this is going to serve as the dart. Okay, next thing we're going to be doing is to place the measurements. So on my chest line, I'll be placing my bust measurement on the chest line. My bust is 34 divided by 4, which is 8.5. My waist is 28 divided by 4, which gave me 7. And then I'm going to be using what I have at the bust at the length of the blouse. So I'm just going to place 8.5 I have at the bust at the length. Okay, so mark it at 8.5. Next thing I'm going to be doing is to add 2.5 inches allowance to each of these measurements. So on my bust, 2.5 inches. on my waist, 2.5 inches allowance, and also on the length of the blouse. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do that right now, just as you see me doing, and then we're going to connect the points together. Okay, so go ahead and connect yours together just as you see me doing. Okay, so guys, this is what you ought to have. So guys, next thing we're going to be doing is to determine the round arm. Okay, so for my round arm, I'm using 9 inches. So from where I have my shoulder slant, I'll take it all the way down and I'll mark out 9 inches just there. Okay, so after doing this, we're on the bust, we're going to come down by half inch. Okay, half inch allowance after the under bust. Okay, and then we're now going to make a slope from the neck to the half inch that we have. Okay, so you're going to slope it down like this, just like this, and then you're going to connect from what you have below the underbust to the 9 inch you have for your round arm, just as you see me doing. So you're going to connect it just like this. Okay, so guys, this is what you ought to have. And then after doing this, we're going to go ahead and slash the upper part. So guys, go ahead and slash the upper part. I'm just going to make straight lines at the upper part, just as you see me doing. So what you're going to be doing with this upper part is you're going to slash and spread it on another paper before you cut on your fabric. Okay, so guys, after doing this, we'll label. And then at the length of the blouse, we're going to go ahead and give it a kind of shape. Okay, so go up by 1.5 inches at the side of your blouse, and then you're going to curve that, and you're going to slope that into the midpoint, just as you see me doing. Okay, so guys, this is what you ought to have. I'm going to go ahead right now and cut this out. Okay, so guys, go ahead and cut out yours. So guys, this is what you ought to have for the front. So let's go ahead and cut the back. So for the back, I went ahead to place a larger paper. As you can see, I had to join it, and then we're going to be marking out the zipper allowance. So my zipper allowance is 2 inches, and I'll mark that all the way to the end, and then after marking, I'll rule it out. Okay, just as you see me doing. Next thing we're going to do is to take out the neck. So for the neck is different. Is for the width we have 3.5, and for the depth we have 1.5. For the width, always maintain what you have at the front, and the depth can be different. So 1.5 for the depth and 3.5 for the width, and we're going to connect this together. Ensure when you're connecting, you connect it all the way into the zipper allowance, just as you see me doing. Okay, connect it all the way into the zipper allowance, just like this, guys. Next thing we're going to do is to mark out the shoulder slant. So come down to the edge of your paper, and then I'm just going to mark out the shoulder slant. Come down by 1 inch and slant it into the neck. Okay, just as you see me doing, slant it into your neck. I extended the line just in case, and then we're going to mark out the chest line and the length of the blouse. Although this is not important, I just did it. And basically what we ought to do is to place the front on the back, but I just marked out the chest line and the length of the blouse. As you can see, I was contemplating if I should mark it out, but I just did anyway. And then I went ahead to rule it out. I went ahead to rule out the lines. So guys, next thing we're going to do is to place the front on the back, just as you see me doing, and then make sure you arrange it. So ensure you arrange it just as you see me doing, and then go ahead and cut it out. Okay. So guys, after cutting, this is what you ought to have, and as you can see, it came out nicely. I'm just going to go ahead right now and label the zipper allowance. So go ahead and label the zipper allowance, and then I label the other parts for the back as 0. So when you're slashing and spreading, you spread differently for the front and the back, or you can use the front and then attach the 0 parts to the front and cut for your back piece. Okay, so guys, I'm just going to create a line there. This is what you ought to have. Okay, so guys, I just want to make a very quick correction. After I had drafted and cut, I realized that I needed to trim out the curve. Okay, it was not adequate enough because the neck is high, it's not low, say down to the bust point. Since it's above the chest line, the slant that we made was not enough. It was not okay. So take note of the under bust like I just did. Take note of your under bust and come down by 1 inch or ½ inch under your bust. Okay, and then you're going to make a very deep curve, and then you're going to make a very deep curve from your neck all the way under the bust. So when you have a higher neck, higher v-neck, ensure that your curve is deeper. If your v-neck is lower, say all the way down to your bust point, then you can just take a slope or a slant. Okay, but if your neck is higher like mine, ensure that you take a very deep curve that goes all the way under the bust, just as you see me doing. Okay, just like I did. Ensure that it crosses over the under the bust. Okay, ensure it goes all the way under the bust, and please take note of this. If your neck is lower, there is no problem, but if your neck is higher, then you have to go deeper under the bust. So guys, I hope you take note of this correction, and also ensure that you slant take your slants at the upper part, extend it all the way to the one I added. Like I did mine, I extended it, and then I just used the masking tape to hold it down. Instead of the first slant we made, we have a deeper slant now. So guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you find this video helpful. Thank you so much for watching. Kindly like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.